Hello my dear students, welcome you all to the botany classes. In the previous classes we have discussed till the root, stem and leaves. In today's class we shall discuss about another interesting and beautiful chapter, beautiful concept, that is about the inflorescences. Right, you all remember from few classes, inflorescence simply is a group or a bunch or a cluster of flowers, group of flowers. We shall go deep into the inflorescence with many more types. Inflorescence, a mature group or a cluster of flowers produced on a special reproductive axis, that is peduncle of a plant, is called inflorescence. Group of flowers, okay, and produced on a special branch. Usually other branches will have a leaves, and the branch which have the flowers is called peduncle, which have the flowers is called peduncle. When produced singly, it is called solitary flower, means in one branch or on one peduncle, if there is only one flower, it is called a solitary flower, and when they are produced in a group, it is called inflorescence. Here the flowers are arranged in a definite pattern on a special reproductive branch. This is called a peduncle. They are arranged in a definite pattern, means they also follow some systematics for the production of the flower, the arrangement of the flower. So only we can say arrangement of the flowers, group of the flowers, cluster of the flowers is the inflorescence, right. Then we can say what is the significance of the inflorescence, means why the plant has to produce flowers in group, why the flowers are arranged in that particular pattern, in that particular sequence. That is the significance of the inflorescence. It makes the flowers more conspicuous and attractive. Conspicuous means clearly visible, conspicuous and attractive. Therefore, it is more effective in attracting pollinating agents such as insects or birds. To attract the insects which come for pollination, it is easier for them to identify the plant, identify the particular species. Moreover, many flowers can be pollinated in a single visit of an agent. Since the flowers are there in the group, once the insects visit to an inflorescence, many flowers will get pollinated. And in an inflorescence, flowers open successively and not simultaneously, means flowers open one after the other, not all together. If the flower has, if the inflorescence has 10 flowers, among that 5 flowers pollinated, 5 flowers matured at some time, and other remaining flowers will get matured at some other time, okay, successively one after the other. This improves the chance of pollination as a flowering has a longer period, okay. So, if it is continuous process, then the pollination will also be a continuous process, hence it will increase the chance of the pollination. One more special feature is a different genre of same family often produce flowers in a particular pattern specific to that family. Therefore, it is one of the criteria for identification of classification of the flowering plants. Means it is helping in taxonomy also, identification of the plant also, nomenclature of the plant also, because the plants coming under one family will produce inflorescence of one type. There may be small difference, but when we look at the flowers of one plant and the plants of that family, they produce the inflorescences of the same type. Hence, that helps in identification of the plants, right. Students, remember there are two basic types of inflorescences. One is racemose, other one is cymose. First one is a racemose type of inflorescences. You can see in the diagram, small flowers are at the tip, small flowers are at the tip, and large flowers are at the base. Small flowers at the tip, large flowers at the base. And remember, see, the tip is continuously growing. So, tip has a indefinite growth. Tip has a indefinite growth, means the apical floral bud has a indefinite growth. Here also known as indefinite inflorescence because it is peduncle, shows continued growth of an indefinite period, means the peduncle keep on growing. This is possible because the peduncle has an active terminal bud. At the end, the terminal bud is always active. It will keep on growing. It will keep on growing. And the inflorescence axis never terminates in a flower. In case of racemose, it will never terminate in a flower. That is, the apical bud of the peduncle is never converted into a terminal flower. The apical bud keep on growing and producing flowers on lateral sides. Producing flowers on lateral sides. It will never become a flower. Third point, flowers are arranged in an acropetal succession, that is, on the peduncle. Older flowers in the inflorescence are lower down. You can see in the diagram, old flowers at the base, and the younger flowers are near the apex. Old flowers at the base, see the diagram, new flowers at the tip, apex. The older of the opening flowers in a racemose inflorescence is always centripetal, that is, flowers which are peripheral in the inflorescence are older and mature. Which are there in the periphery, they are older and they are matured, and which are there in the apex, they are smaller, they are yet to be matured. So, we can see the racemose inflorescence in case of Gulmohar, Caesalpinia, and many more types of plants. So, students, we have many subtypes of racemose inflorescence. We have many subtypes of racemose inflorescence. We shall see those types of racemose inflorescence. Once see these diagrams. So, this small round indicates type of the inflorescence. So, racemose flower has small pedicel. Compound raceme, it is branched. Spike has no pedicel. Catkin, it is flowers are present nearby. Spadix, long and thick peduncle. Like that, every inflorescence type, every racemose inflorescence type has a unique feature. We shall see those features with some lines. So, first character, raceme. Peduncle has bisexual and pedicellate flowers. Remember, bisexual means both androecium, gynoecium, male and female parts are there. Pedicellate, pedicel is present. Arranged acropetally. Acropetal means a large flower at the base, small flower at the tip. That is example, larkspur as well as in radish. Spike, you can see in the diagram. Peduncle has bisexual sessile flowers. Sessile means there is no pedicel. For example, in Acaranthus, Adathoda, etc. Acaranthus is called Uttarani in Kannada. Uttarani, right. Spikelet, it has small special spike. Spike, just like we say root, rootlet, flower, floret, leaf, leaflet. It is a spike and spikelet. Flowers are produced in the axil of a fertile bract called lemma. You can see in a case of wheat and grasses. Catkin, it is pendulous spike in the leaf axis which bears unisexual flowers. The flowers produced in leaf axis, and flowers are unisexual, either male or female. Morus alba, birch, oak, acalypha, etc. Once see the diagrams and see the characters. We shall move on to few more types, that is spadix. You can see in maize or corn. Spadix is spike with a fleshy axis and having both male and female flowers. The spadix has both male and female flowers. It is surrounded by large colored bracts called spathe. can see in case of Musa paradisiaca means banana, palm, colocasia, alocasia. So, usually present in the monocot plants. Okay. Corymb, for spadix, you just look at the diagram, the flowers covered by spathe made up of the colored bracts, right. Next one is corymb. The main axis is short, lower flowers have long pedicels than upper ones, so that all the flowers are brought more or less to the same level. So, you can see the corymb in this diagram. So, from the top second diagram. So, the flowers which are at the top they have a small pedicel, the flowers which are at the bottom they have a long pedicel. Ultimately, all flowers are at the same level, all flowers are at the same level. Next one is corymbose or compound corymb, it is branched. The main axis is short and lower flowers have a long pedicels than upper ones, so that all the flowers are brought to the same level. Iberis capsula, so it is present in a mustard plant, you can see in the corymbose resin. Next one is umbel. Main axis is reduced, short is reduced, you can see in the diagram here, axis is very much reduced and flowers appear to be arising from the same point. Okay. The flowers look like they are arranged, they are arising from the same point, right. At the base of the flowers, a cluster of bracts form an involucre, means a cup like structure. Involucre is a cup like a structure. So, it is nothing but a group of bracts which form a cup like structure below the flowers, that is what we call a involucre. Example, hydrocotyl, and compound umbel is present in a coriander. Compound umbel means it is branched, simple umbel is unbranched, compound umbel is a branched structure. Lastly, we have a head or capitulum. Here the main axis becomes flat and called receptacle. The main axis becomes flat and is called receptacle, and it bears many sessile and small florets. So, you can see in the diagram in case of sunflower, okay. So, the small flowers are called florets, So, here it bears many sessile and small florets, Peripheral florets are called ray florets or pistillate or neuter. The florets which are present towards the periphery, they are pistillate, means they are female, and they may be neuter, means neither male nor female, and zygomorphic, whereas disc florets are bisexual and actinomorphic. The florets which are present at the center, they are called disc florets, they are bisexual, which is observed in sunflower, zinnia, cosmos of the family Asteraceae or Compositae. All the members of the family Asteraceae, they bear the head or capitulum inflorescence. Once you all see the diagrams properly. One more special inflorescence see in the last diagram, Hypanthodium. Actually, the thalamus covers all the flowers. These are the small flowers inside. You can see in the fig, banyan tree, Ficus bengalensis, etc. So, towards the neck there will be male flowers, towards the bottom there will be female flowers. The insect enters the receptacle and pollinates the female flowers present at the bottom. This is what we call Hypanthodium, present in case of the fig or Ficus carica or the banyan tree, that is Ficus bengalensis, right. So, these are some of the types of racemose inflorescence. Students, in the next class we shall see the types of cymose inflorescence. This is enough for this class, since the class exceeds more minutes, and if we go on adding more types on the head, it may become difficult to digest inside the brain. Hence, let us wind up the class for this racemose types. We shall see the cymose types of inflorescence in the next class. Till that, keep learning. Bye bye.